How are you guys doing? This is Ryan, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want to talk about some problems I see with Bitcoin. And it really came from a Michael Saylor interview that makes me think that maybe the Bitcoin movement is not going to be as revolutionary as someone like me would have hoped, and really dig into some of the deeper ethos and best use cases for cryptocurrency. So with that said, I want to jump right into the interview, let you hear it, and provide an alternative perspective. I'll put it on the screen here.
So at the end of the day, I think there'll be know your customer this, there'll be anti-money laundering that, there'll be some tax regulations, there'll be some back and forth over what you can do, there'll be concerns about privacy. That's why I look at Bitcoin and I think it's pretty clear. If the use case is store of value, well, like 7.8 billion people on Earth need a store of value, and probably the value of that is 100 to 300 trillion dollars, right? That's enough. That's good. If the use case is currency, replace the dollar and the euro, that seems like that's just intentionally inflammatory. We don't need to replace the euro and the dollar. The bankers are going to be upset about replacing the euro and the dollar. I don't think it's going to happen, and not in the next decade or 2 decades, so we don't need to get wrapped around the axle on that. And if the use case is medium of exchange and payment, like we don't really need to pay for a pizza with it. We don't need to pay for a Starbucks coffee with it. I mean, that's already solved by Alibaba and PayPal and Square and Apple Pay and Amazon and Google Pay, and it's, they can be regulated, and Visa and MasterCard. So you can leave Visa and MasterCard alone. You can leave the dollar and the euro alone. We can agree to pay taxes. We can, we can not thumb our nose at regulators.
So the biggest use case Michael Saylor is trying to talk about here is creating a store of value, and Bitcoin being the store of value. And it's resorting to this because Bitcoin has extremely high fees, and he doesn't see Bitcoin wanting to go in and disrupt these other industries outside of storing value. And don't get me wrong, I want people to have a good store of value, and there's a lot of good use cases for store of value. I'm in my house in America, like the biggest store of value is someone's home, something like gold or stocks, and there's a lot of different ways to store value. But something that I think he's missing here is that cryptocurrency can be great currency and very disruptive and really help raise the standard of living for billions of people across the world. So many people live on just $1 a day, and yet to move around a Bitcoin takes over $10 now. So while he's saying the use case can benefit 7 billion people, he's not telling the truth, because not that many people can afford the transaction fees to get a piece of Bitcoin. And a big systemic reason for Bitcoin's failure to scale is really because of a company called Blockstream. Blockstream is essentially software engineers that benefit from Bitcoin not being able to scale. They don't want the project to scale because then they won't really have a job to do. And their job is to create off-chain solutions, which I'm cool with, but Bitcoin not raising its 1 megabyte block size and not allowing for competition in currency to take place like we should see it. And I don't understand why Michael Saylor thinks we need to have more competition in storing value than we do in currency. In currency in the world, we are all subjected to government currencies that are manipulated to do whatever they want, to tax and coerce and fight wars and run whatever government programs they want. But what if people want to live in a more self-sovereign way and really challenge the status quo and the way we move forward with our economic interactions with each other? I've been promoting Bitcoin Cash a lot on this channel because it does that. It's a great competition of currency, and you can move value around the world for fractions of pennies, and the whole world can take place in this. Michael Saylor in this interview just lays down to the banks and taxation and all these different things, and that we really shouldn't disrupt the dollar system because these people are going to get mad. But what about's in the people's best interest? Yeah, if they get mad because they get caught stealing value and inflating money from people and doing dishonest things, then who cares if they get mad if it helps people? And really the amazing thing I think I see going on in the cryptocurrency world is how many people are not looking past like the top level of Bitcoin, and it just being this thing that they don't know too much about, but the price is going up and you're hearing a lot of talk about it. But it has some real underlying issues, and the real problem I have with it is that Bitcoin BTC is not showing how disruptive this technology can be, and therefore slowing down its adoption. And just hearing Michael Saylor, who is so important to this bull run, and how he moved so much of his money away from dollars, which is a good thing to see competition and things, but just to see him lay down to other revolutionary ideas that can come from this is rather disappointing because he has a lot of influence. And in terms of the stock market, he seems relatively revolutionary, but there is so much more to this movement that people just don't understand, really because everyone's looking at this from a very high level and not really digging into the depths of what cryptocurrency is. And eventually the market will get there. Eventually the market's gonna challenge us. Eventually these conversations of competition of currency are gonna happen. And I'm really excited to see how that affects the market. And you're seeing these trends play out through other Bitcoin maximalists. I just saw Anthony Pompliano, who's big on Twitter, doing like an infomercial on this tax program on how this will make sure you pay all your crypto taxes, which is fine, I pay all my taxes, but I just commented jokingly, like, if you're pushing a tax software for cryptocurrency, I think you might be in cryptocurrency for the wrong reasons. But I hope to see a lot of other intellectual conversations come to fruition and just really challenge the status quo. But let me know what you think down in the comment section. What do you think about Michael Saylor's comments? Am I wrong to think he's not willing to push the status quo enough? And this is what Bitcoin is going to be meant to be. It's just a place for rich people to stuff their money. In my opinion, I think it can be a lot more. But guys, if you've made it this far on the channel, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, tap that notification bell, and also give it a thumbs up so YouTube notifies you every time I upload a video. And please, please, please follow me on noise.cash. My name is Ryan Giffen, one word over there. Make sure you get it there. It's a social network based on Bitcoin Cash where you can send money back and forth for content that you like. And because of this and low transaction fees, Bitcoin Cash actually is doing more daily transactions on chain than Bitcoin Core, which has $1 trillion market cap versus Bitcoin Cash's $10 billion market cap. So it's pretty amazing how the market is pricing these two assets differently. In my opinion, this will change, but stay tuned for that. Also follow me on Instagram. I post there pretty much daily. I put my handle here, rgiffen89. And as always, guys, I'll see you in my next one.